you look at DeepSeek, DeepSeek showed up, right? Nobody expected this. It turns out it's on par now with some of the top models. Welcome. China has arrived into the competition. What would happen if China beat us? Let's think about it. The path to intelligence, that's superhuman intelligence, think of the national security implications of that competition. This is why I believe, and I'll say directly to you, that although everyone is concerned about Taiwan, I'm much more concerned about this. Because if they come to superintelligence, the strong form of intelligence first, it changes the balance of power globally in ways that we have no way of understanding, predicting, or dealing with.
All right, so the initial impact here is Eric Schmidt basically firing a warning shot. He uses that specific example, DeepSeek, to say, hey, look, China isn't just some future threat. They showed up now with top-tier tech, faster than people expected. It sets the stage that this isn't just about gradual catching up anymore. They're capable of surprising breakthroughs and are truly in the competition right now.
Fully understand. And none of us, including myself and frankly anyone in this room, is prepared for the implications of this. What's happening at the moment in our industry is that we're very, very quickly, for example, developing AI programmers, and these AI programmers will replace traditional software programmers. We're building in the next year AI mathematicians that are as good as the top-level graduate students in math. This is happening very quickly. You can look at this in a number of the products. Today, you think of AI as ChatGPT, but what it really is a reasoning and planning system that we've never seen before. The implication of this is profound. In terms of the way the algorithms work, they're going to need a lot more computation than we've ever had. They're going to need a lot more energy, and I'll talk about that. What does the industry need? We need high skills immigration. We talk to you about this every day. Light touch regulation around cyber and bio threats. We can talk about that. And most importantly, we need the energy. And the numbers are profound. What we need from you, if I may say that directly, is we need energy in all forms. Renewable, non-renewable, whatever. It needs to be there, and it needs to be quickly. I and others are investing in things like fusion, which are incredible, but they're not going to arrive soon enough for the need. And I'll frame this at the end by my comments about China. So people are planning 10 gigawatt data centers. Now, just to do the translation, an average nuclear power plant in the United States is 1 gigawatt. How many nuclear power plants can we make in 1 year where we're planning this 10 gigawatt data center? Gives you a sense of how big this crisis is. Many people think that the demand of energy part that our industry takes will go from 3% to 99% of total generation. One of the estimates that I think is most likely is that data centers will require an additional 29 gigawatts of power by 2027 and 67 more gigawatts by 2030. Gives you a sense of the scale that we're talking. These things are industrial at a scale I have never seen in my life. In the terms of energy planning, the current model is mostly natural gas, peaker plants, plus renewables, and that's probably going to be the path we're going to have to follow, right, to get there, and for all the reasons that you can imagine. We have a bunch of regulatory issues around fixing the energy grid. It takes, on average, 18 years to get the power transmissions and so forth to put these things in place. We need to find federal ways to preempt that and make it happen faster in order to deal with the needs. Many of these data centers, by the way, are in the heartland. They have a huge economic impact positively on areas that typically do not have the kind of growth that they would like. Now, why is this all important? When you build these systems, you have intelligence in the computer and then eventually human-level intelligence. Some people think it's within 3 to 4 years. Then after that, you have something called superintelligence. And superintelligence is the intelligence that's higher than of humans. We believe, as an industry, that this could occur within a decade. It is crucial that America get there first. What is China doing? They're leading in something called open source. They're very close behind us. You all have done a great job in doing chip restrictions and things like that to try to slow them down. They're clever and they're smart. They have industrial programs, huge grants going into these companies, and they're weaponizing up in the sense of competition.
A key frustration that comes through, especially from Schmidt, is the difference in speed and decisiveness. He points out that while Western regulations, US and EU, might be well-intentioned, the layers of rules and democratic processes inherently slow things down. He contrasts this sharply with China's autocratic system, where they can just decide and implement massive top-down industrial policies and funding pushes for AI. This highlights a structural challenge for the US: how to compete effectively and quickly against a rival that doesn't operate under the same constraints.
Over the past decade, it's become clear that the United States faces intense global competition in determining how AI should evolve and who should lead. In 2018, the Chinese Communist Party's AI master plan started taking shape. They were already developing advanced AI capabilities and using that technology to surveil and suppress their people. Fast forward to today, their plan is more sophisticated and expansive. It includes 4 key areas of focus. First, the CCP is taking a whole-of-country approach, having recently launched their AI Plus initiative. Second, the CCP is out-investing us in data, spending billions on AI-ready data and unlocking vast public datasets to fuel AI systems. Third, they're finding ways to catch up on compute and building out their physical infrastructure. And lastly, they're developing leading AI models and exporting them to the world.
If you take a look at Ukraine, Russia right now, you see the future of war. I'm assuming, by the way, that China would start by cyber attacks and so forth. There's evidence that these new systems will be able to come up with zero-day exploits that we cannot foresee. A zero-day exploit is something we've never seen before and we can't anticipate. There's lots of people who were worried that biological attacks can be done, and there's a report from the Emerging Biothreats Commission this week with the great details, and there's a classified version that all of you should take a look at. There's plenty of evidence that these things are possible.
So, Mr. Wang, you're shaking your head. I only have about 30 seconds, but if you'd like to make a comment on that comment.
I agree with Dr. Schmidt that the potential implications of national security are incredible. As he mentioned, I think the place we're going to see this first is in cyber. I think we're going to see agentic cyber warfare, in which we will see incredibly powerful AI and large-scale data centers being utilized to hack into our systems. One of the things that we were discussing.
Both express a concerning picture of what happens if the US falls behind. Schmidt talks about future warfare not being about traditional carriers and missiles, but about intelligent drone swarms and cyber attacks we can't even imagine yet. Facing a super-intelligent opponent, Wang goes further, suggesting China could use AI dominance to export its authoritarian model and effectively take over the world ideologically and technologically. Their solution involves a massive, coordinated US effort: dominating data, National AI Data Reserve; making the government itself use AI, quote, agentic government; fostering innovation with smart regulation; promoting US tech globally, and critically, solving the huge energy bottleneck needed to power all this AI infrastructure. It's a call for a national strategic mobilization. And there you have it, a look at the high stakes and urgent calls to action surrounding the US-China AI competition. It's definitely something to keep a close eye on as it unfolds.